All right, for our reading group today, we are going to be reading a book called The Bossy Pig. So if you have not taken that out yet, I would like for you to do that. And before we start reading, I want you to think if you know what it means to be bossy. And you might notice that the word bossy has the word boss in it. So somebody who's your boss is always telling you what to do, right? So somebody who's bossy likes to tell other people what to do. So is that a good thing in a friend or not so good? Okay, and maybe you don't know yet. So think about, do you think you'd want to be friends with somebody who's really bossy, and why? Let's turn to page 2. So in this story, Mrs. Pig is having a picnic, okay? So think about what you know about a picnic. A picnic is where you eat food outside, right? And sometimes different people bring different things. Sometimes people for a picnic will sit on a blanket or at a table with chairs or at a picnic table. It depends, okay? And so Mrs. Pig is telling them they're going to have a picnic on Saturday, and it says that she told her friends, you must come. Find the word must. Okay. Must. Must. If you must do something, that means you have to do it. Do her friends have to go to her picnic? Yikes, I wouldn't want to. Let's turn to page 4. Now this is one of those times where the pictures tell a lot of information. So what is Mrs. Pig holding in her hand? She wrote a list, and her list says table, 6 chairs, juice, and plates. I'm wondering what else she's missing for a picnic. Let's keep going. Now, on page 7, again, you can see that the illustrator made the pictures to help you understand the text a little bit. So the Mrs. Sheep is thinking about bringing a blanket, right? Sometimes you sit on a blanket, and Mrs. Pig is a little bit sassy in her reply. She says, a blanket is not on my list, said Mrs. Pig. You bring the table. Why did I read it like that? Look at the way the author wrote that. Why did I read it like that? Okay. You might have noticed that he made that word you bold. That means we're going to emphasize it. You bring the table. Tells you how bossy she's being. Let's look at page 8. Okay. Again, she tells the goat what to bring. Find bring on page 8. You might notice one of our glued sounds in the word bring. We have b, r, ing. What glued sound do you see? If you said ing, ring, ing, give yourself a pat on the back. Bring, bring 6 chairs. That's what she told Mrs. Goat. You'll notice those bold words on every page. We're going to skip to page 12. And on page 12 it says, Mrs. Pig looked at her list again. Find the word again. We have 2 syllables. We could break this with our finger. We have a or a, and then we can get our mouth ready again. 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 Okay. Now, she goes to visit the wise old owl, and the wise owl tries to tell her that she knows what to bring, and you know what Mrs. Pig says? She says, don't bring anything. Don't, again, is bold. She's saying it with a little bit of an attitude. It means do not. And anything is another word you can break up. Don't bring, we know any, we know thing, we can put it together. Don't bring anything. And if this is anything, then what would this word be? Get your mouth ready. Every. Anything, everything. And this one would be something. By breaking the word with your fingers, you can find parts of the word you know. So all the animals get together for the picnic. And they're all sitting down. And then again, on page 21, the illustrator uses thought bubbles to show you what the characters are thinking. What are they thinking? It seems like there's a little bit of a problem. Now, without spoiling it, we're going to flip to page 24. And on page 24, the bossy pig calls the owl wise. I want you to think about and respond why the pig calls the owl wise. And wise means that you're very, very smart and you know a lot. So why would the pig say that the owl was wise? And you're not going to know the answer until you've read the book. So you're going to start at page 2. You're going to read the entire book, and then you're going to be responding to me about why the pig called the owl wise.